How long have you had this car?
4 years, 3 engines, 4 transmissions.
That's what I was getting to, yeah. So why'd you go 1.5?
Non-VVTi GE is really accessible. I try to spend like $500 on a bottom end, stock, pull the head off, throw the 1J head on, and go. Even with these Chinese turbos, bro, they're getting pretty good. Like, I'm on a Mamba turbo. Saw that Nomakin Jr. was running Mamba on his pro cars. So I was like, why not? And I've had the turbo on that car for pretty much the entirety of its life, even through the 3 engines. Like, they've had access to this technology for decades now. Like, even the Chinese stuff is at least probably like maybe 5 years behind.
You're about to do a whole giveaway and everything.
Yeah. Sometimes shit just doesn't work out, man. That whole like culture for what it is right now, like the whole giveaway thing, dude, it's just been ran through. We got it to a certain point. I let a bunch of people like vote on it, and I said, hey, either I can refund every single one of you, or we can give away something else. And they all voted on that, and that's what it ended up happening.
What'd you give away?
It was a.
Welcome back to the Circle Drift podcast. Once again, thanks for stopping in for yet another episode. And today we're actually going to be back at Polecat here locally to talk with Kyle from SD Rats, or Style Drift Rats is what the actual company is. But you guys probably know more for his 1.5 JZ, 8 HP, JZX100. I've absolutely loved this car for a very long time, and we finally got the time to sit down and chat with Kyle about the car and a little about how he kind of affords all of this. So before we get into that, I did want to stop and let you guys know that Formula Drift Long Beach is coming up very quick, and we will be out there with the booth. So for one, let me know who you guys want to see on the podcast while we're there. And if you guys are going to be in town and coming to the event, be sure to stop by the booth, say hi, and maybe grab some merch, because we will have quite a few new things dropping, like Nobori flags. I think there's 6 new designs of Noboris, along with this nice Sherpa hoodie that I think you guys saw me in the intro in last week, and some other stuff too. But I don't want to take up too much time just talking about merch. You can't quite yet get it on the website because I'm going to drop it all at FD. If you were at Polecat, you got to grab some of the Noboris already, but after FD Long Beach, I will get everything uploaded on the website, so whatever's left, you guys can grab. And if not, if we still have some more, we'll bring it to the next FD event as well. But that's enough of me blabbing, so without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the podcast. We are back here, actually at Polecat. I don't even remember the last one at Polecat was, but yeah, we're here with Kyle, probably one of my favorite cars here, I would say.
Appreciate that.
We'll hear a little bit from him. Also, I want to say I'm sorry. I don't have my voice for some reason. I woke up this morning and it was scratchy.
You're good.
Just bear with me. But yeah, how we doing today?
Dude, great, man. I'm out there. I think I've turned about 5 laps so far. Cars singing.
Everybody's been getting Jude.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers, dude. A lot of drivers. Yeah. So you'll kind of have that. I mean, I try not to get too worked up in the pits when I'm waiting, but I don't know, dude. This is a beautiful track. It's a special place, you know, like, I think we're lucky to be here, so I don't take it for granted. Even if I'm sitting at grid for a little while, it's fine, you know? But
well, how's the car doing?
Car is singing, dude. I think I dynoed the car, last week? Made like 5 or so. Been having no mechanical issues, really, so it's just been doing good. I'm feeling out kind of a little bit of a different setup. But yeah, car's great. Car's doing great.
What's the setup change?
A little bit more power, and a little bit less, not angle, but camber. A little bit less camber on the car.
Oh.
So I wanted to make the car a little bit more streetable. Last angle kit I had on the car was an FDF Mantis. Tons of camber. Car just wasn't I couldn't drive it long distances, which is what I wanted out of the car. And without, flipping tires all the time.
Yeah.
So
was that a mild, or like a mild Mantis?
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was the mild Mantis. Yeah.
Still use like stock knuckle.
Yeah, it still uses the stock spindle, but it was an adapter, and then their forward lower control arms, and then like some kind of lower control arm adapter like extension. So I think my total lower arm length was like, it was pretty long. I don't know the total number. It was long. So tons of camber, and I just I got tired of the look too.
Yeah.
So,
I assume you lost some angle out of that, right?
on my angle kit right now, I think I get about 51 degrees, so like that. So
that's not bad
I
still.
think those mild Mantis kits, I don't remember what the
They're
total.
probably around 60, I would
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, like 60 degrees or something like that, I want to say. So, not a lot of angle.
Well, how's that feel here? Because
The car's
I'm
a little
sure
bit
it's
more
a little weird up front
yeah,
now.
yeah, the car's a little bit more on the front. Like, it's a little twitchy. I have to go into corners with more speed and a little bit more angle. If I'm too straight, I'm kind of fighting the car a little bit, which is not bad because I like a lot of angle, and I like driving with a lot of angle, but it's definitely a little more twitchy than it is kind of a floating feeling, you know?
Almost like a more of a B-knuckle feel, probably.
What'd you say?
Almost more like a B-knuckle feel, I would assume. That snappiness.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, you could say that.
Sick. Well, how many times have you been at this track?
I think this is my 4th time here. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all of them, isn't it?
Not all the PTC events. This was back when iTrack was was running.
Oh
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So those events, and then 2 times here. So, but
I always forget about the iTrack events.
yeah.
I never got to go to one, so.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I haven't been in this sport super long, but I mean, I always loved the events Matt put on. I know there's a lot of controversy around stuff like that, or that whole thing. I'm not entirely sure of all the drama, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, I never had a bad time at any of his events. I can say that at least. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to talk about the car a little bit.
Sure.
For all the people out there, why did you choose the JZX chassis?
I started with so interestingly, I started with Miatas. I feel like that's kind of the progression, is like Miata kids turn into IS kids, turn into JZX guys.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them I know that like that's kind of the
That or
progression.
BMWs.
Yeah, or BMWs. But so I would kind of mess around in like stock Miatas. They were really twitchy, you know, it's just not, I know a lot of guys out here can wheel like a Miata, but I just did not like the feeling of drifting one of those cars. Got into IS300, loved that platform. I mean, I learned a lot in that chassis. Stock angle, like NA power, and I learned that, you know, a lot of the suspension components and the actual size of the car translates really well to X100, X110, and the 90s as well. So it was kind of a natural progression, and I really like the cars, so yeah.
You always been a four-door guy?
Yeah, I like sedans.
That's why.
I've found that the argument lately is IS300's like the new S chassis. I don't know if you've heard that.
Where the fuck are you hearing that at?
The internet.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, mostly because of parts accessibility, you know? Like, S chassis parts are becoming more and more hard to get your hands on, and IS300s are littered across the United States. They're affordable for the most part. Maybe not as much anymore, but...
That's very true. I will say, you go on Marketplace and, like, a Z, expensive as fuck now. S chassis, expensive as fuck. Those things, dude, you can find them 250,000 miles.
Yeah.
Barely running for like $500.
Yeah, so I mean, also what drove me to get into the IS platform, a lot of the Polish guys over there in Poland, dude, like I've seen there's this one red IS who's running a Don Musk kit, and years ago I saw that car and I was like, dude, this is sick, like, and he was just streeting the car, like, dude, it was just, I was like, yeah, I want that, you know, like, absolutely, I want that. So that kind of also influenced my choice in the platform, was just the aesthetic of the car and the way that it was put together in the first place, you know, so yeah.
Well, I heard you mention, speaking of the IS300, you mentioned yesterday there's a lot of the parts that are shared with the JZX.
Yeah.
So what was it, like axles and like what are the common ones?
I've gone through this a lot. Like all of the front suspension from 90 to 110 is identical. It's all the same.
No
the only
way.
difference is the between the 100 and the 90s, I believe, are just the LCA length. No, correct me if I'm wrong. It's the tie rod length. So the inner tie rods and the outer tie rods are different lengths, and the The rest of it's the same. So, but
That's
in the
simple.
back, that's where it kind of gets different, you know.
What else is different about it?
So in the back, it's a little bit more like LS400.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you can run IS300 axles and interchange BRZ diffs and IS300 diffs, JZX100 diffs between the chassis, between all the chassis. But as far as like suspension arms, components, they're a little different. So in that way, from IS300, that is.
Now, is there a different gear ratio and stuff in the IS300 diffs?
Dude, I mean, it depends on what chassis you end up with. Like if it's an auto car, I think some of them run stock like 3.7, 3.9, whereas some of the manual factory cars came like 3.9, 4.10 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so many.
It's like the Z's too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Z's and the G's and all of that plethora of market, whatever. They
Right.
all have different ratios from anywhere 3.5 to like, fuck, what was the high? I think 408 was the highest.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Maybe a
Yeah.
little higher than that, but good luck finding one.
Right,
Like I
right.
think the good one that's a 3.9 or something like that is
Yeah.
in the convertible G37s.
Right.
Of all things.
Right.
It's in that one.
Yeah.
So
I can't speak a whole lot on Z chassis just because I've never really gone into that,
well, yeah.
or Z and G chassis. But yeah.
I was just curious how that relates to the IS.
Yeah, they're
Like how
pretty
the
much
ratios work
identical
and
in
stuff.
length and in suspension components. Like so much of it is interchangeable.
What about the drive shaft?
Drive shafts are a little bit different in length, just slightly. And I know stock they all run two-piece, so it's a two-piece shaft from the factory.
okay.
But it's the front shaft half that's the different length
Interesting.
versus the back. Yeah, so that's about the difference.
Yeah. Well, how long have you had this car?
I've had the
Now.
JZX for, I want to say I'm going on 4 years now with that car.
Okay.
So, yeah, 4 years, 3 engines, 4
That's what I was
transmissions.
getting to, yeah.
So-
Okay, so it's got, you said R154?
no, it doesn't have R154. It's 8 HP right now.
8
Yeah,
HP.
Yeah.
Someone else said that this morning, man.
That has been like a godsend for me. I know so many people that are on the fence about it. They constantly ask me about it. I've been asked probably 20 times here about it since I've gotten here. And dude, it's been, I love it. I absolutely love it. So
What trans were you having problems out of? originally?
R154.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's what it
I mean,
was.
it's not like it's unknown or not knowledge that the R154 is not necessarily the strongest transmission, but you got guys out there like the secret sauce, to an R154 is like avoid the twin discs, you know, like clutch delay valve and all that fun stuff to avoid like just the shock you get from drifting. But there's a lot of guys I know that are out there running 600 plus horsepower on a R154, which is crazy to me. I couldn't get 400 out of a single one, but I also drive like pretty aggressively clutch wise, so
Yeah.
I beat the crap out of it.
Oh, I've noticed.
Yeah.
I think your engines have noticed too.
Yeah, no, that was a tuner issue, man. I mean, and it was a bit of a learning curve for me too, so I'm not afraid to admit, you know, that a lot of this stuff has been a learning process for me, you know. I like to share that with people because people often feel like you have to know everything that there is to know about cars before you start just messing with it. And a lot of my friends aren't in that position, man. Like they just don't have the knowledge. So, you know, I just push them to try and go out there and just do the work, you know, make mistakes, you know, even if it costs you a bunch of money, like you're gonna learn. I'm telling you, you're gonna learn and you're gonna be better at it.
What were a lot of those mistakes that you made with this chassis specifically that could help someone else?
For
looking
me
into it?
specifically, I mean, mine was fuel related most of the time. Dude, if you're gonna touch your car, like if you're gonna put upgrades, like modify your engine bay in any way, I'm talking like injectors, upgraded fuel system, whatever it is, know what it is that you're doing, you know, like know how the system works and how it interacts with all the other systems in the chassis, you know, and in that, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because that's what I didn't do. You know, I went and bought like an Apexi Power FC didn't realize, you know, like, oh, well, that's ancient technology these days. Like I said, I'm still kind of like on the, you know, fresh on the scene when it comes to drifting. I came from a totally different realm of music and whatever. But yeah, like, best advice, take some time and like, dude, even if you got to ask ChatGPT, like, I'm not going to shame you, bro. Like,
that shit,
like,
I'm not going to lie. I
ask
see some impressive
questions,
stuff out of it.
I'm saying,
so far.
dude. So, like, ask the questions, you know, or ask people that you know that may be more knowledgeable, because it might save you a ton of money long term. But for my chassis specifically, I don't know. Don't run Power FC, number one, unless it's
we get a link and we call it a day.
Get a link after, you know, a standalone ECU if you can afford it, or just leave it alone. Keep it stock ECU, you know. Maybe a fuel cut defender and like some basic little stuff like that. And just leave the car alone and drive it, dude. You know, you're gonna have less issues with 1J, you know, and JZ turbo cars in general if you just leave them alone. Yeah, it's where you start getting into the power chase, you know, chasing numbers that you have issues, you know.
Which you were doing.
Which I was doing.
With
a little bit. Not even crazy. Like, I was looking for a solid 4, you know, out of a stock 1J. And at the time...
Which, truthfully, isn't asking a lot.
No, that's not asking a lot at all. No, but when you have fueling issues, it is.
Yeah. So, okay, explain that a little bit, though, from, like, obviously, you didn't tune it specifically, so I don't expect, like, the numbers and all that stuff.
Right.
But can you explain what went wrong in the tuning process for that to happen?
Let me think back, man. So I'm trying to remember. When I had lost my first engine, I was out at a hot lap day. There was like some event nearby, and the car was singing like it was beautiful. The car was just, I was having a great time. Went through the whole track day, and it came when I talk about like knowing what it is that you're doing. So the Power FC that I had bought, right, was a D-Jet or L-Jet. No, I can't remember. MAF. It was MAF car.
Okay.
No map sensor. I think that's D-Jet. No, that's L-Jet. That's L-Jet. Whatever.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyway, so what had happened was every time that I let off throttle, the ECU had like no decel control, so it would just dump tons of fuel. Right? Well, every time I would let off the throttle, which, you know, in drifting, like you're constantly on and off the throttle. So what would happen is it started to contaminate the oil, right? Started washing my cylinders slowly over time. Just in this 8-hour session, like, of a day, which is a lot of drifting in a day, right? In that one day, the car was just good enough, you know, but the oil became just contaminated enough that by the end of the day, it was my last lap out. My head was pounding. I had like a huge migraine. I had some guy riding along with me, and I was ready to go. Car lost power. I thought I just popped a coupler because that was issues I'm still having today. Issues I'm still having today. Yeah, but so I just gave it the beans. Like, last turn, I just kept clutch kicking to get out that turn. I didn't care, dude. I just wanted to power through this last corner. I was like, I'm done, dude. I'm ready to go home. Car shuts off. Dead stop. I try to crank it. Dink. Dink. I pull off track. Dude, what happened? I was like, dude, your guess is as good as mine. Like, I don't know. Pull off to the track. I try to rotate the crank. It's completely seized. So what had happened was the car was putting down a bunch of smoke throughout the event. You know, all I was doing was pitting, changing tires. I wasn't checking my oil because I had that JZ confidence, you know, and that was a mistake. So yeah, a few weeks later, I finally pulled the pan. There's a ton of bearing material in there, and what had happened was I think the oil thinned out enough. It actually damaged the turbo seal. So as I was going through that day, oil was being burnt, but you couldn't see it because what color does oil burn? White, right? So bunch of smoke, tire smoke, can't see the oil
your car
burning.
makes a good amount of smoke too, so that.
Yeah, it's all right. It makes a little bit of smoke, but.
Well, to be like, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice. It was buried in the smoke for sure.
Damn.
So, yep.
And this was stock 1J, not 1.5.
Stock 1J. That was the engine that originally came in the car when I brought it over. Yeah.
How many miles were on that at the time?
I don't know. It's got 183,000 kilometers, whatever that is in miles, maybe 120,000 miles or something like
Oh
that.
wow, that's still not that much.
Yeah, but I only had the car for less than a year before I already went through engine number 1. Yeah. And yeah, usually you would think with spending that much money on trying to rebuild something from the top down, pretty much you would remember what went wrong. But I just try not to think on it too much. Just take the lesson and just go, you know.
So why'd you go 1.5?
Non-VVTi GE is really accessible, so you can find them cheap. Most of the time, I won't let a guy talk me down, you know, or talk me up to like $1,000. I'll probably spend the most, maybe like $500. I try to spend like $500 on a bottom end stock, pull the head off, throw the 1J head on, and go. So that's why.
Okay, so just to kind of compare how readily available those would be, what other motor would you compare it to as far as accessible?
None of the IS, like any of the non-VVTi 2J cars. So GS300, predominantly GS300. I'm blanking right now. Yeah, like GS300 essentially. But as long as it's a non-VVTi block, you're good. Because the VVTi versions had just weaker rods, whereas the non-VVTi versions had a stronger rod, just no oil injectors like the GTE versions. So, yeah.
Now, is there anything, does it just bolt directly up? Or is there anything you have to do?
I don't know if I've gotten lucky, but I've heard about other people having issues mating the two from a small oil galley that's like in the back of the head as well as the block. And what it is when you put them together, they just don't quite line up. So some people have to take them to the machine shop and actually
Like
have
drill
that,
them out
yeah,
a little
drill them
bit?
out a little bit. So I haven't had that issue. What I do is just take the head gasket, put it up to the head. If it lines up, put it down to the block. If it lines up, two are going together.
Legos, baby, that works. Oh, that's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, and you've been through 3 of those now?
I've been through 2 GE blocks. This will be my second. The one that's out here right now
okay.
driving, this will be the
That's
second.
good.
So I say 3 engines, technically 2 engines, but this is the third one that's been in the chassis. So
The first one you went through, that was still because of tuning issues too, the same ordeal? Like
I say, okay, let me backtrack a little bit, because I say tuner issues because the guy I had at the time, I'm not gonna name names. The guy I had at the time, like I said, this is all a learning process for me when I had first come into a lot of this, you know, anything that wasn't NA essentially. And I didn't know, either he didn't know or I didn't know. Well, I definitely didn't know. What I don't know is if he didn't know, right? Whether or not that, that ECU and that configuration with the MAF setup was gonna work or not. And the reason I bring that up is because every time air on the turbo surges, every time there's turbo surge, right, the air comes out of the compressor side. And what that does is hits the MAF and confuses the MAF, right? So it thinks air is coming in, even though air is not. So it's dumping fuel. And that's what the fuel decel control is for, right? So I say tuner issue because that could have easily saved me an engine had I known, right? Like, okay, you're gonna have to change your oil like every event, bro. You know, because your oil is gonna be so contaminated by the extra fuel that you're getting, that you're gonna have to change it like often, you know? And that didn't happen.
I mean, most like newbies are usually told to kind of do that anyway.
Right, exactly.
So,
like you would think that that's good advice from someone who's educated in the field to be like, hey, by the way, and guess what? When I went to the new tuner, that was the first thing he said. He was like, yo, we got to throw this out. This is junk. He's like, I can tune it for you, but realistically, you're going to have this issue, which is the issue that was not addressed when I brought it over to him in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just under-researched pretty much.
So it's like, when I say best advice, just try to do as much research as you can, you know about what it is that you're doing and how the system works. Like the difference between D-Jet and L-Jet fuel systems, you know, one is map sensor, which you may not require a blow-off valve for, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to have the issues I was just talking about with map sensors, you know? And a lot of people like to run no BOV because they love that sound, you know, they love that compressor surge sound, when realistically it would have actually saved my engine if I had one.
Dude, I think it sounds better without a blow-off valve.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
so much better.
Yeah.
I put
Mama
one
ain't raised
on-
no bitch, all right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I put one on the RB when I first got that car together, and then I finally took it off because it fucked up, and it was
Yeah.
a little open all the time, so it was
Yeah.
just leaking. And
Yeah.
once
Contrary
I
to
heard it
popular belief.
afterwards, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's way better.
Yeah, way better, way better. I mean, contrary to popular belief, though, they do serve a purpose. Like, you know, they do have a function. Do you necessarily need it if you know what you're doing? No. Are you gonna go through
Explain
parts
the function
faster?
to the people, because a lot of people just hear it as it makes
So-
cool noises.
I guess to try to put it in like layman's, right? When the compressor side of your turbo builds boost, it gets sent through the intercooler into the intake, mixed with fuel, boom, boom, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What happens is there's a surplus of that boost, right? And it has to go somewhere. If there's nowhere for it to go, what does it do? It just goes back out the same way it came in, you know? And that's what turbo surge is, or compressor surge is. So the job of a BOV, or a bypass valve, technically is what they're called, is to prevent that from happening. And that relieves stress on, I don't know, some people still run them, some people still believe in them. To me personally, we have ball bearing turbos these days. It's not really an issue, you know? Whereas you had journal bearing turbos way back when, you know, when turbo applications became more popular in motorsport, whatever, that was an issue, you know what I'm saying? People had to deal with, where they would be wearing out turbo journal bearings all the time and blowing up turbo shafts and all that stuff.
You're
So,
just leaving extra air in there.
yeah, that's all it is, essentially. And a ball bearing turbo is much more capable of dealing with that than a journal bearing turbo is. That's why people, I mean, maybe some people run it because they think it sounds cool. I know I do, but that's also one reason, you know, is it's not really necessary, you know. Even with these Chinese turbos, bro, they're getting pretty good. Like,
Yeah, you're running
I'm on a Mamba turbo.
Mamba.
Yep,
Okay.
3076R bottom mount T3. I originally was gonna buy a Garrett, you know, came up shallow on funds, and saw that Nomakin Jr. was running Mamba on his pro cars, so I was like, why not? You know, like, and I've had the turbo on that car for pretty much the entirety of its life, even through the 3 engines. Yeah, and they warranted the first time I lost that engine, and that turbo seal got blown out. They warranted it for free. I shipped it back to fucking Thailand or wherever it was, and they warranted it, bro. Sent
Just
it right
for
back to me.
reference,
Yeah.
we were talking about this yesterday. The RB kit, well, I mean, I'm talking lines, everything.
Yes, the
It's
7x7
like
is what they call it, I
$800.
think. Yeah.
Dude, it's incredible. And the fact that they warranty it too, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yep, they warranty
I
it.
almost bought that kit.
You should. I don't know. It's been serving me great, dude. I love it. I can't complain. The only limitation with it right now is power. You know, if I
Yeah.
want to chase any higher number than what I'm at right now, I'm really not gonna get there unless I get a bigger turbo.
What is max for that turbo?
So right now we think the car's pushing about 500, right? It's advertised for that, but technically, you know, most turbos advertise that as crank power. That's not wheel power. So I don't know. I mean, the dyno I'm on, shout out RJ. I don't think it's been calibrated in years, and a lot of the guys I know that have tuned with him said, oh, it's about like 50 shy. And the day that I got it tuned, I was on like E60, not quite E85. So I'm running like 22 pounds, you know, E60. So if I could get, you know, pure E85 in it, I'll have a little bit more power. So if I had to guess, like on a good day, probably like 480, 500 is where it's sitting. But
22 pounds sounds crazy to me.
yeah, I may be pushing the limits of the turbo right now, but so far I've had no issues, so I'm running with it.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
What Garrett were you going to get?
Say what?
What Garrett turbo were you going to get? Like, which one did you have your eyes
Same
on?
3076R.
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, responsive.
That's what I ended up with, so I feel you, yeah.
Big Moonies. Yeah.
Luckily, I was working with a company at the time
Yeah.
in Juku.
Nice.
They helped me out on that.
Nice.
So
What turbo's on your car
I got
now?
it for a way better discount.
Right.
What's a 3076?
Okay,
Still
yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Great. Torquey. Very torquey. My torque curve was beautiful with that turbo too, dude. Like, I mean, beautiful.
Car feels amazing on it.
Yeah.
I went through stock turbo and trying to make an eBay turbo work just to get the car like up and running.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I could like.
Well, like I'm
send
saying,
the
dude,
dialogue.
like, think about it. Like, people have been, people in China or wherever, these like off-brand, aftermarket manufacturers, like they've had access to this technology for decades now. Like even the Chinese stuff is at least probably like maybe 5 years behind. Like they're right there, if not the same, because the technology is widely available now. So all they got to do is essentially duplicate what other great manufacturers are doing, and you've got a solid turbo.
Well, they're probably making some of those manufacturers' turbos anyways.
Yeah, probably.
It's just duplicate,
right?
you know?
Or they're at least assembling it in an assembly factory or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, who knows?
That's cool to see that turbo's doing good though. Because I
Yeah.
had John McCreary. Do you know who that is? Out at Mid Pond
Sounds familiar.
or McCreary. Sorry if I fucked your last name up, but he has an RB25, 26.
Okay.
And he runs that kit, the Mamba kit.
Yeah.
He fucking loves it. He swears by it.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I'm saying, like, and the what's the name of the other one? It's got like a Oni kind of symbol. I can't. There's another one that's just like it, and I'm pretty sure they're made in the same factory.
interesting.
You know who I'm talking about?
Maybe.
King Gao, or like I can't remember the name. I'm just
It's always some weird ass name.
insert, like fucking
Someone correct us in the comments.
Right,
You got
please.
it.
Please. I'm sure somebody out there is running it right now.
Oh yeah. It's a good car, dude. Weren't you about to sell it?
I was.
You
Yeah.
about to do a whole giveaway and everything?
Yeah,
on it?
yeah. Sometimes shit just doesn't work out, man. That's all I can really say about it. You know what I mean? That whole like culture for what it is right now, like the whole giveaway thing, dude, it's just been ran through, like I can't open up my app like without seeing somebody doing it now. And I don't make a lot of money, you know what I mean? And this sport it can get expensive, So for me, as like a smaller micro influencer, whatever you want to call that, it was a way for me to get into a chassis that I'd liked, and I could experiment with and have fun in, and come out and be lucky enough to party with all these guys out here that probably have way more money than I do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we got it to a certain point. I let a bunch of people like vote on it. And I had them all in this group chat, and I said, hey, either I can refund every single one of you, or we can give away something else. And they all voted on that, and that's what it ended up happening.
What'd you give away?
It was a truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That's still very
nice,
helpful.
nice tow vehicle.
Yeah.
Some girl in Tennessee actually won it. I
Fuck
can't remember her
yeah.
name right now, but yeah. So
Damn, dude. Well, at least you didn't get rid of it.
yeah,
I'll say that.
yeah. I may still sell it. I don't know. It's when you come out to events like this, it's hard. You're like, I'm having too much
Makes
fun
you
right now.
fall
I
back in
can't. I
love.
can't sell this car. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
the whole giveaway culture it's weird, man. I don't like it. And
I don't like it anymore
I don't know if I'll
either.
ever
It's
do
not what
a
it was.
giveaway car.
it's not what it was.
It's almost like you're feeding
when I'm
into
doing it, bro.
someone's gambling addiction. And I
Yeah,
really don't
yeah.
like that. I
You
do the
feel
small
bad?
ones, like if I gave away a Viper chair or a set of
Yeah.
coilovers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very simple. It doesn't take much to enter.
Right.
Cool.
Right. Even when I'm doing it, it kind of gives me like the ick. Like I'm like, I don't like this.
You feel
know?
cheesy
Yeah,
almost?
I want it to be over as soon as possible, because I don't know. It's not me, dude. I've found through doing a few of these things that I feel the same way you do about it. And I don't know. If somebody's got a good cause, I'll toss them some bucks for, a giveaway. But most of the time, if it's just like, no offense, LZ, like an LZ giveaway, I'm like, nah, I'm never gonna win that, dude. Or like, but that's actually an example right there. Somebody who
Ironically,
literally right across from us had won a
that's
car.
true.
That's true. So it does happen. It's real. It's there. I think the reason like people got so invested with some of these giveaways in the past is because these were personal builds that like these guys worked hard to put together. There was a ton of content about them, and that was the appeal. It's like somebody could actually own a car that they were obsessed with, you know what I mean? And that was the thing. But now it just doesn't seem like that. I have no connection to some random F80 that I see on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But if it was like someone's car that I admired a lot, I'd be like, I'm gonna toss you 20 bucks.
Yeah, like value to
yeah,
the
I'm gonna help
car
you out
itself.
with whatever it is you're doing this for, profit or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm gonna toss you 20 bucks. I don't care. You know, but some people don't view it that way. You know, unfortunately.
Almost just makes it feel like a money grab most of the time, and
I mean, let's be real, it is. But at the end of the day as well, you don't leave with that car. Like, someone is taking that car home. So.
You just got to enjoy it for a little bit.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's always funny to see whenever they finally bring them to come get the car too.
Yeah.
It's always the most dull.
Yeah.
Like response to winning a car.
I never
get that.
Dude, I feel the same way. It's like, I don't know, kind of a bummer almost. You know, like they're like bummed when they like, oh,
all of this was done for this moment,
right?
And you killed it.
And they're not hyped. I'd be jacked, bro. I would be like, I don't even know if I'd be able to walk in the room without laughing. You know, like, but yeah, absolutely. Especially those mainstream giveaway. Like, you see them post, and it's like, oh, cool, yeah, thanks for the Lambo, dude. You know, like they're so nonchalant about it.
I'm so excited.
But oh, appreciate you. That's pretty cool.
Oh, shit.
He took a picture of my cracked windshield because I got mad here. Got angry like a little boy. And I threw my steering wheel up on my irreplaceable X100 dash and cracked my windshield. Bro.
If anyone's got a windshield,
yeah,
let them
honestly,
know.
I need to find one, dude.
Yeah.
Bad.
Jesus,
that's a nice little token.
That's funny, though. Put that shit on your dash.
Huh?
Put that shit on your dash so you
Honestly,
never do it again.
I need to take the whole dash out. I got dash lift in that car as well. That's a common problem with them, too.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that blows.
Yeah.
How hard is it to source stuff like that? Are you having to source it from Japan? Or?
I've found some on Yahoo Auctions, but Method Auto used to be doing a lot of glass. But I reached out to them recently, and I haven't heard anything. So I don't... Method Auto, if you're seeing this, please hit me up because I need glass. But
Taylor's probably fucked them last year.
Yeah, yeah, dude, really bad. Same situation with a lot of shops, unfortunately. But yeah, sourcing parts, not too bad. Obviously, the windshield glass is a little bit harder to find. Doors are pretty much a dime a dozen as long as you know where to look. And even still, there's a lot of guys over here that get the car over here, crash it, and then, you know, you got yourself a parts car. So.
Well, at least you can find parts.
Yeah.
At least some way.
It's not unobtainium, depending on what it is. If it's rear glass, you're...
Good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Because doesn't it have, like, the antenna wiring and stuff in it, too?
Yeah, if anybody uses that. But, yeah,
but, like...
But, nah, just for some reason, the rear glass on X100 is hard to find. I don't know why, but it is. So.
Well, if anybody's got the hookup, let them know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Damn, I just had a question. Oh, so for anyone that doesn't know who you are specifically, explain to them how you afford all of this and what you do for a living, stuff like that too.
Right now, I'm in school, actually. I'm trying to get a mechanic certificate to work on planes. So I'm trying to get my airframe and power plant ratings. My buddy, shout out Darnell, Mob Darnell on Instagram. He's the one who actually influenced me to go that whole route because, you know, I came to kind of a head with my business, and I want to say business. It's not really a business. It's a small business. It's hobbyist stuff. I only keep it going just to fund this stuff, really. So yeah, I sell like angle kits, small parts, stuff like that, or I'll part out cars or things like that, but I'm professionally unemployed, technically.
That's legit, dude. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do what I can, where I can to make money. I've always been kind of, you know, a hustler in that sense. Yeah, right now I'm in school trying to get my A&P certifications to go on to work somewhere. I don't know. I want flight benefits. Huh?
Where do you hope? Where do you want?
Where do I want to go?
Airline or what is it?
Major airline. United, Delta, commercial of some sort.
Yeah.
The flight benefits are great. I'm really trying to get over in Japan and in
Dude,
other
he's
areas.
not lying.
Yeah.
Flight benefits when you work for
I'm
any
saying,
type of major airline
I'm
is
saying, dude,
incredible.
Incredible. You pay taxes on a ticket. That's it.
I considered getting a part-time job at an airline just so I could fly for free for this.
And I'm telling you right now, dude, like the aviation is in need of mechanics, like bad. Because all the guys, all the old heads that are like 50, 60 years old are like, I'm cooked, I'm done. Like I'm ready to check out. But so they're in need. There's definitely a huge demand for mechanics right now. If you're willing to sit through, you know, the 2 years of schooling and really crack down and learn, you'll be set up for life, bro. I mean, some of these companies offer amazing benefits, the flight benefits being one of them, and even international benefits where you, like I said, you pay taxes on the ticket and you're going wherever you want to go, you know? So think about like a trip to Japan. I don't know how much that is right now. Probably like just the tickets, like
around $1,000, $1,200,
yeah,
something
around,
like that.
Yeah, we'll say that.
I've been looking.
14%. What, sales tax is 14%, right?
Yeah, you're
Something
paying
like that.
maybe $100 or something.
Minimal amounts of money. So that was like the big influence, because I would see him like over there partying like whenever, you know, and I'm like, dude, how are you affording to go out here and do this? Because I'm broke. Like, like I want to get out there, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, I work for United. I was like, doing what? He's like, I'm an AMP. I was like, why did I never think of that?
Dude, it's simply
Yeah.
you just be a flight attendant. You're already going to be shipped off somewhere anyway. So
Oh yeah, one of
stay
my
there
buddies,
for a night or two,
one
whatever.
of my buddies' girlfriends just got a job as a flight attendant at Delta, and he gets to reap the benefits as well. So everyone in my family or even my friends, like if like we want to pick up and go, we can go. You know, so long as you have a passport. So.
Damn. Well, obviously we can hear our car starting, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll
You're
let
good.
you get back out there. So I appreciate it, man. Do you want to shout anybody out?
Nope.
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 Solid.
I'm good.
Well, at least shout yourself out.
All the homies in the pits with me right now. Yeah, I mean, Caleb, Darnell, yeah, Chase, especially for this event, dude. Like, thank you. Seriously. I hope to come out here later this year and party some more, man. Yeah,
Hell
for sure.
Yeah. Well, check out the next Chase Space Polecat event. If
Yeah.
you guys aren't coming, grab your tickets.
Yeah,
I can leave that in the description and stuff too. But thanks, man.
Absolutely,
of course.
brother.
You have a good one out there.
Appreciate it, man.
What a fantastic episode with Kyle from SD Rats. Dude has an absolute killer car, and it sucks to say that he actually did just sell this car as well. So quite ironic timing to have this podcast right before he sells it, but I know he's got some plans for the future and some crazy builds coming up because the dude has built quite a few sick ass cars. So if you guys enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments what you did enjoy about it or if you learned anything so that I can continue to bring you guys the best questions possible with the best guests possible. So this year is about to be crazy and we're about to be very, very busy. So I look forward to it, and I hope you guys too, and I hope to see you out at an event. Catch us at FD at Long Beach.